Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Legendary Aspects. Today we're going to be going over another legendary aspect, which is known as the accelerating aspect. The accelerating aspect is an odd one, which seems to be more focused around core skills than it is around anything else. And the thing about the core skills on this aspect is that it's a little strange to me. Yes, it does do what it says, and it gives you an increase in attack speed when you, of course, hit a critical strike with your core skill. It only lasts for 5 seconds, though, and I'm not sure what's going on with Diablo and their insistence on, like, having something only work for a very short period of time. But the problem with this is that, well, it just doesn't work as well as you would like. I don't really know how to, like, put it, because when you use a core skill, of course, you burn essence. So as soon as you use a core skill, you're burning essence. Or resource of any type whatsoever. And so getting that increased attack speed is definitely nice. But the problem is that what it does is it just makes it so that you burn your essence even faster, just as quick as humanly possible. So you get a very nice increase of attack speed for hitting that core skill, but at the same time, you then burn all of your essence as quickly as humanly possible, and then have to spend time, obviously, regenerating all your essence back to full. And one of the main issues with this is that, well, I mean, yes, having an increased attack speed is nice, but burning all your essence in like a half a second might not necessarily be your ideal goal. There are many abilities and things in the game, like Bone Spear, which do more damage the higher your essence is. So if you, for instance, are burning all your essence down to 0 relatively quickly, well, that's not going to be an ideal situation. This aspect seems like it would go very well with, however, a build that focuses on never running out of essence with a core skill. The Ring of Starless Skies, which is an uber unique, basically makes it so that you are refunded like 40% of all the essence or all the resource that you spend on your core skill when you cast it. Now, the problem with it is, though, is that it does kind of reset itself when you use a non-core skill. But in this particular case, I mean, having a really, really, really fast core skill wouldn't exactly be a bad thing, because you obviously wouldn't have to worry about burning all of your essence away. I mean, generally what you're doing when it comes to core skills is you're attacking to generate essence, and then burning that essence with the core skill. And then once you burn the essence with the core skill, then attacking with your basic skill again, and kind of like going back and forth like this. As you can see, it takes me quite a while to build all my essence back up, but that's because I have 206 maximum essence. This is an item that can go on other slots. So if we wanted to throw this on, something else, like for instance an amulet or a two-handed weapon of some type, we totally could do that. And if I remember correctly, I think the attack speed actually does go up for each. So since it's 25% for a one-hander at its cap, 15 to 25%. Critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed by 15 to 25% for 5 seconds. Well, I think it goes up to, I think it's 38% on an amulet and 50% on a two-hander. Now, I'm not really sure that 50% increased attack speed on your core, well, like for crits from your core skills is really all that amazing. I mean, granted, like I said before, if you can potentially set up a character that has the ability to get that, like just infinite essence, so to speak. And let me just go ahead and throw this in here for a second so we can see what this looks like on like an amulet, for instance. So it should be 38%, I believe, on the amulet. Yes, 38%, which means it's 50% on your two-handed weapon. Which is pretty impressive amount of increased attack speed. And of course, once you can get your attack speed to an insane level, I mean, you are looking at, absolutely, as you could see, spamming the ever-living crap out of your core skill and burning all of your essence in a matter of seconds. This does go on one-handed, two-handed, gloves, amulet, and ring, because it is an offensive aspect. This one has never been one of my favorites. I've never been a big fan of short duration buffs. 5 seconds is not a lot. If you're spamming your core skill all the time, then yes, it makes sense, and you can get lots of additional bonus from this, but it also doesn't necessarily increase your damage at all. It only really increases the frequency at which you can attack, not the damage that you're dishing out. So if I'm dealing 500 damage from my core skill, well, then I'm still dealing 500 damage from my core skill. I'm just hitting more often, which means now I'm getting more attacks in, burning more essence, and essentially, emptying my essence bar faster. Now, there may be some particular reasons why you might want to burn your essence as quickly as humanly possible. There are some ways, some abilities in the game, like, for instance, the Wrath of the Berserker, which gives you a damage bonus for burning your essence very quickly. Or burning your fury, in the Barbarian's case. And it is a general attack speed bonus, so it's not like it's just for core skills. So you can potentially get some minor benefit from this if you utilize this ability, and then utilize something else like a basic skill. You can get a 50% increase to attack speed on the basic skill for a couple seconds after you get your first crit on your core skill. But there is other aspects that are better for basic skills. I mean, if you're specifically trying to increase a basic skill, there is the rapid aspect, which is up to a 60% increase, which is 10% more than this one, although it is only for basic skills. So to keep that in mind. And it basically what it comes down to is that I just don't really think that this aspect is really well formulated. Critical strikes with core skills specifically is a little... maybe if it lasted longer. If it was 10 seconds instead of 5, I feel like it would be more useful as a general aspect that people would be interested in using, across the board. Because then, you would hit a crit with your core skill, and then you'd have 10 seconds to utilize it, say, on any other number of things, like a mastery skill, your basic skills, maybe even your trap skills or whatever it is that you're doing. You'd have a little bit quicker response time out of all of your abilities, and not just simply, like one. 5 seconds really just doesn't last long enough to be all that useful, and it burns basically its first second before you even complete the animation for the attack that even triggered the effect, which is pretty funny. I can't say that I have ever used this one in a build, personally. I think that I've looked at it, I've always kind of thought about it, and then I saw the core skills, and then I immediately kind of backed away and was more interested in using something like the rapid aspect, which the rapid aspect is just way better in terms of attack speed bonus for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to increase, like, for instance, your basic skills attack speed, so you can generate more essence, or maybe you're trying to generate more blood orbs, or maybe you're trying to generate, more cooldown reduction from Nature's Fury. There's 100 reasons why you would want your basic skill to go faster. And unfortunately, this, although it does make your basic skill go faster, it's just, a superior choice is definitely the rapid aspect in that terms. Now, if you are a character who can spam your core skill indefinitely, this does come into an interesting, option. And we were talking about Ring of the Starless Skies, but there's other ways. The Necromancer has some pretty crazy aspects that regenerate, essence, like the Ring of Torment, the Band of Exposed Flesh. There's other very interesting ways that you can have nearly infinite resource regeneration. It really just depends on the character, right? So if you have a nearly infinite amount of resource and you just want to get the increase to attack speed, I guess this one could be handy. It feels like it's a very niche aspect. Something that even if you find it in its perfect state, even if you have a character that could potentially utilize it, you really have to be in that niche of a character who can infinitely spam resource to really get the best effect out of this. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to this particular aspect. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's not really the best one in the world. And as always, keep watching.